Let me change the scene, and here we go, you guys. Let's start with an article that we're going to cover for a little bit. Okay, here we go. Let me stop the music too. So let's do this without music. Okay, here we go. We have an article from Forbes betting. Now, I did not know that Forbes actually had a betting section on their website. I'm kind of shocked that Forbes has a betting section, but here we go. Betting odds shift for chess GM who wants to lose, be with his cat. Okay. And then of course, okay, whatever, there's some weird anti-gambling thing, but let's get into the article. All right. When deciding whether to make a sports bet on an individual sport, paying attention to player interviews to see what they might divulge regarding their current form can be helpful. The chess world provided a solid example of that this week. This month in Baku, Azerbaijan, the FIDE World Cup pits more than 200 of the game's best players against one another in an exciting knockout tournament format. The first two games of a matchup are classical chess longer time controls, followed by shorter time controls and possible tie breaks. Someone must advance to the next round. Okay. It's kind of weird that you have an article, you guys. It's kind of weird you have an article, but you also have like a Forbes betting section, but you also have basically like a what do you call it? Not an advertisement. You have a disclaimer. You have a disclaimer, so it's kind of weird that you have that. But anyway, all right, let's keep going with the article. We'll get back to the games a little bit short in a little bit. Okay, the stakes are high as the top 3 finishers receive entry into the prestigious candidates tournament that determines the next challenger for the Classical World Chess Championship. Also up for grabs is 1,834,000 in prize money distributed across multiple rounds. Now, this is one of the ways that the chess world tries to make it sound really impressive. Like, you see 1.8 million, you're like, wow, chess players get paid super well. But the reality is that the winner of the event gets 128,000. So that money is really distributed heavily, and it's not as impressive as it looks on first glance. You're like, 1.8 million, wow, like these guys get paid lots of money. It's amazing. But again, the winner, which will probably be Magnus Carlsen, only will get 128,000, and that's pre-tax, obviously. Okay, so let's keep going. Cat state of mind. Filipino-American Grandmaster Wesley So, who has achieved the 7th highest rating in the game's history, according to 2700chess.com, has endured a rocky start to his tournament despite his first 2 opponents being much lower rated. Still, So advanced to the 4th round scheduled for Wednesday, thanks to some luck escaping objectively lost positions. Okay. So was remarkably candid in an interview following his victory in the round 3 tiebreak on Monday. He said he wanted to go home. Now, I think that for sure makes a big difference as well, because when you saw Wesley's play, and I was watching, of course, because I was playing the event, he definitely was not playing at his best. Now, whether that was because of cats or something else going on with like being in Azerbaijan, hard to know, but it was very clear that he was not on form. The World Cup does not pay appearance fees to anybody, no. And also, you pay for your hotel. Basically, you can either pay for your hotel separately, or you can take your hotel out of the prize pool. So for example, let's just say Magnus wins the tournament and wins $128,000. He will have one room for the whole event, which basically will span, let's just say 30 days to keep it really even. So essentially Magnus, I think the hotel room is about 120, maybe 115, 120 a night. So let me just use an even number of 100 just to keep it very clean. Magnus will basically make $125,000 because the hotel will cost $3,000. So you're paying for your hotel room. You can take it out of the prize fund or pay it separately, but that you do have to pay for that. And of course your transportation, or not transportation, but airfare and everything, you're paying for that as well. So the only thing you get is the prize money, just to be very, very clear. All right, let's keep going. Now, of course, that also makes it very, if you don't go very deep, you make like $4,000 or $8,000 is pretty rough as well. So at least it's tax-free taken from the prize pool. The hotel, I guess, yes, but your actual prize money is taxed. You're going to get taxed on that. So let's keep going. All right. Okay, so said he wanted to go home. Why can't you find your form in these moments of the tournament? The interviewer asked. And then it goes on. It says you don't actually know what form you're in until you go into the tournament, and it's very hard to repair once you're in the middle of it, but it is what it is. So replied. So of course he has watched a lot of streams on Twitch and YouTube. I think he's watched mine a lot, so of course he has adopted this great saying from the famous streamer Hikaru, because that is the great saying. I mean, it's almost a meme at this point. It is what it is. I'm here in Baku with my mother, and we're doing the best we can and just playing hard, just trying to do well. But at the same time, I have new kittens at home. I was actually hoping that Jesus, Oops, excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. Wait a second. I was actually hoping that Jules, my opponent, would win today, but I want to play and I don't want to just resign. Okay, yes. I don't want to resign. Okay. Let's keep going. Sherman needs more coffee. Yes. Like a true cat lover, So added that his travel as a professional chess player has him missing out on time with his pets during a formative time in their lives. Okay, so what Wesley wants to be with his cats, right? Very clearly during a formative time in their lives. They're Birdman kittens, So added. My old cats passed away at 21 years old last year. They're very nicely only 4.5 months old. It's unfortunate I'm not there when they're growing up. First of all, 21 years, like what are they feeding that cat? Like, oh my god. I mean, I remember when I was growing up in New York, there was one neighbor that had a cat that lived to be like 19, but I feel like anything above 15 is pretty insane. They must be feeding that cat like something special. So yeah, 21 is pretty old. So okay, anyway, it says it's unfortunate I'm not there when they're growing up. Now, of course, to be fair, it's only like 1 month. Now, I don't know if cats are like dogs necessarily. Like, I'm not sure, because I know for dogs, one human year is like 7 years for dogs. So I don't know like what if it correlates directly, but he wants to be there when they're growing up. Okay. It appears some sports bettors picked up on his heartwarming comments. The odds changed significantly. So will sit at the chessboard on Wednesday in round 4 against 23-year-old Russian GM Serana. So's opponent entered the match as a number 49 ranked chess player in the world per 2700 chess. The 29-year-old So is currently number 7. At B1 Sportsbook, affiliated with BetMGM Sportsbook, So opened at minus 350 betting odds with Serana at plus 230. However, it was only a matter of hours before the odds changed to minus 250 for So and plus 180 for Serana. Now, that's actually very interesting that the odds shifted that much. I would say that the odds shifting, I don't think it necessarily has to do with Wesley wanting to lose. I think it's more of the fact that Wesley was playing very bad chess. And I think that probably some GM out there, like probably some IM or GM, probably made a big bet. They probably saw Wesley's games. They saw he's not playing well, and then they combined it with the comments. But I don't think it was solely due to Wesley's comment that the odds shifted this much. It doesn't seem realistic to me. I think it's probably Wesley was playing poorly, and probably the market was very thin. So if someone came in and bet like $1,000, it probably shifted the odds immensely. Is my best guess. So that's my general takeaway from that little bit about the odds shifting, because again, the problem is I've said this before, the problem with betting in chess very specifically is you can't have it in volume, because it's too easy to shift it. So I'll give you a good example, and we'll go back very quickly to the game, but like I'm going to give you an example. Okay, let me change the scene for 1 second. As we look at this position between Magnus Carlsen and Nijat Abasov, I would tell you right here that as a super strong GM who's really who plays a lot of chess, like I'm very strong, I understand how the game goes. When I combine the position, I look at the safe king that Magnus has here, the lack of activity for the bishops, the fact that it comes down to basically one pawn push basically in the center. It's like g5 h4 e4 f5 and the safe king white. I would already here be making a huge bet on Magnus to win the game. Even though I bet the odds right now do not give Magnus huge chances, I would probably come here and I'd plop down like 20 grand on Magnus winning the game. And so I would shift the odds immensely, and I'd probably break the bank at some point if I could take advantage of these intricacies. So this is the big problem. And there's also the problem as well. Getting back to the article now. The big problem as well, separately, that has to be said, is that there's a problem that at the end of the day, the prize money is not justifiable relative to how much you could make for throwing a game. That's the problem. So like, for example, be right back. I'm going to go bet on stake right now. I don't think stake has betting on chess, and I think all these sites that have chess betting, it's fairly limited. I mean, that's the big problem though. It is a big problem. I'm being serious about this. Is that, for example, I'll give you an example. I played the World Cup. I lost in round 4 to Pragnanta, and I made $16,000. Okay, I made $16,000. But I'm pretty confident that if I could figure out if I could watch these games and at the critical moments make proper bets, and there's a cap, even if there's a cap of like 5 grand, I'm pretty sure I could make more than 16 grand like today. I'm pretty sure I could. Maybe not today because there are only 2 games, but if there were like 8 games or 16 games, like there were a bunch of games going on in the World Cup, I'm pretty confident that I could make a lot more than that just because of my knowledge. Just because of my knowledge and looking at the evaluations relative to like understanding the players and these things, that I could. And then there's the other problem also, that frankly, what happens if someone wants to be unethical, and you find your friend and you say, okay, I'm gonna go out all night, I'm gonna smoke some hookah, I'm gonna go smoke some hookah at like a bar in Azerbaijan, I don't care about the match, maybe I'll show up and play like a4 on move 1, maybe whatever, I'll just have a good night. You tell your good friend, often like, I don't know, Cyprus or Panama or one of these places, and they go and they find a way to bet like the bet periodically throughout the game or create a few accounts or whatever. Like, I'm just saying, like, you could probably do it and make more money than you're gonna make from winning the match. So I'm very, very skeptical about betting in chess at any kind of volume. Very, very skeptical about it. You can't bet while the game is going on. Maybe you personally can't bet. Like, obviously you're playing, so you can't, because you're in a room playing the game of chess. But like, you could have a friend. As a Cypriot, I feel offended. Okay, I'm sorry if I offended all the Cypriots here. But the point is, I think because the prizes are not high enough, there's not enough, there's no way to truly control it. Yeah, I'm talking about both. I'm talking about match fixing, but I'm also talking about, frankly, just like even for myself watching these games, betting on these games, I think it's very beatable. I don't think there's a way that if you limited it like a couple $100, I think it's possible. But if it's like not limited, like 5k or 10k, I'm pretty confident I could just bet on some of these games where the bar says it's like +1, and so the line is going to, in the middle of the game, show white is winning, and I'm gonna look at the position. I'm gonna know that, like, for humans it's not winning the way that a computer says it is, and the odds makers don't understand it, so I can take total advantage of that. So that's why I'm very, very skeptical that you can ever have betting in any kind of like serious volume to where like it becomes a real thing in chess. I just don't think it's possible. So, all right, we'll get back to it in a second, but let's finish the article. We have a little bit more. Okay, by the way, the dramatic shift in odds. Wesley did lose this match, to be clear. He did lose this match. Just so everyone who's wondering about the odds shifting, Wesley did lose this match. So it says that's a dramatic odds shift in a sport that doesn't have injuries. Later on Tuesday, the match was taken off the odds board. Oh, it's taken off the odds board? Wait, it's unclear if it'll be reposted. Wait, what? Okay, that's taking it too far. That's taking it too far. I'm gonna be honest. That's just taking it too far. That's just taking it too far. That's like taking off the odds board. Like what are they like trying? I mean, what are they saying? They're saying that Wesley wanted to lose that badly. That seems weird. This happens all the time. They don't even put lines on many matches when they're unsure. Okay. Yeah, that's actually kind of weird. The other round 4 games are still available for wagering. The odds maker didn't immediately respond for comment when contacted by Forbes Betting. Will So win or lose in round 4 against Serrano? It's impossible to predict. And even if he has his beloved cats on his mind, So could win. He's one of the strongest chess players in history. Still, bettors who got the more motivated Serrano at +30 have to like their wager. Well, they actually love their wager because, as we know, Serrano won game 1 of the match, and he did win the match. So they love their wager. The match, one of many round 4 pairings, could be about 50-50, all things considered. On Tuesday, So had +2,000 odds of B1 to win the entire tournament. Magnus Carlsen, the world's undisputed best chess player, was the favorite to win first place with +110 odds. Carlsen was also favored to win his round 4 game on Wednesday. Okay, so yeah, interesting article. I mean, again, you never know why they took it off the board. That's kind of weird, but anyway, good article. So I hope you guys enjoyed the article. So we're going to get back to the chess now, but before we do, just one last point. I mean, I just don't think you can have chess if it's like a cap at maybe $1,000. You can have betting, but if there's no cap or you have like 5 grand, I think it's going to be very easy to take advantage of it. So that's just a little bit that I have to say on the topic, but it's a good article nonetheless, and it's more interesting because Wesley did lose the match. So it's like they put this article out and then it's like the odds shifted and then Wesley lost. But as we know, Wesley just got outplayed. There's nothing like sinister or anything else going on. So back to the chess. Let's move right back along. I'll change the scene and I'll put the music back on, and here we go. So let's get going.